Hello, all of you beautiful people. It is Chris T, and welcome to the long-awaited Sirentember video. If you couldn't already tell by the title, I failed this horrendously. Now, it is very sad to fail art challenges. I will be completely honest with you. And one of the reasons why this video is taking so long to come out, as this was supposed to happen in September and you're getting this video in October, is because of all the shame and humiliation I feel from failing this challenge. So yes, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about failing challenges as an artist. But before I do that, let's go into a little bit about what you see me doing here. So I did actually give this challenge one of my best hurrahs. I really did try for this in the beginning at some point, and then just completely fell off the wayside. But for this first one, if you do not remember, Sirentember was a challenge where I wanted to draw sirens for every day of the month of September. Sirens not as in horns that you see on a firefighter, but sirens as in the mythical bird-like creatures. I also know that some people think sirens are mermaid-like creatures, but before they were mermaids, they were bird-like creatures, and I think that is absolutely amazing. A human-bird hybrid just sounds like the coolest thing to draw, and I was very excited to draw this one in particular. Flamingos are one of my favorite birds, and I think they're so majestic. They look so pretty with their super long legs and their super long necks. I think they just look so cool, and then the pink color that they get from all the salmon or shrimp that they eat, it just makes them look even cooler. So for this piece, I knew I wanted to make a ballerina siren, and I really wanted to play up, instead of just giving her wings and calling it a bird, I wanted to give her the beak, that majestic flamingo beak. And I thought we have to do something with that flamingo body. That's one of the coolest things of a flamingo. So definitely gave her the feathered body and then the flamingo legs. And I really thought it was going to look strange to give somebody really thin legs when they had a decently full upper half arm and torso. But I actually think it turned out really cool. This honestly is one of my favorite that I've done. It is also one of the first ones that I've drawn, so take that how you will. So skipping ahead to the next one that we had on our list, and that was the dodo bird. And this was one I knew I wanted to add onto this list because it is an extinct bird, and it is a bird that we never actually got a official photograph for. We do have the renditions from drawn images from back in the days, but who's to say that this is exactly what the dodo bird looked like? It could have just been cartoony, it could have been exaggerated, but this is what we know of the dodo bird. And when I look at the dodo bird, I really just thought it would be cool to have this middle-aged, short, stumpy man who just has these short, stumpy wings and these turkey-looking feet. I don't know, that was something that I wanted to do, and I really played the middle-aged man vibe from the, the 1930s with the pants. I thought that was going to look cool, and I really like it. He reminds me of someone who would work at a desk job and be kind of angry all day, potentially. Someone with a bird-like voice, I thought that would be cool. So going back into the shame of this challenge. So when I decided to make this drawing challenge, that was back in May. Back in May, I had a lot of energy and a lot of time to dedicate to drawing. I also had a lot of motivation. Come August, and that kind of flew out of the window, metaphorically, but it feels very literally, because I went into the only slump for the past 2 to 3 months now. It's been a while, and it's been hard to really get myself out of this funk and want to draw and feel motivated to draw. And when I was doing this challenge, I really had to push myself to really sit down and actually do it. And I was happy when I did do it, but I felt the stress of the deadline of a month-long challenge really hitting me. And if you are doing Inktober right now, I'm sure you know that feeling where you have all of the motivation at the beginning of the month, but there just comes a hump at some point where you just feel like I can't go on. And that's kind of what happened to me here. But before we go into that more, let's get into our next drawing. And that was the penguin-inspired piece. Now, for the penguin-inspired piece, to be quite honest with you, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Now, I love penguins. I think they're the cutest little things ever, these little flightless birds. And I thought about doing the traditional penguin mixed with a human person, but I didn't think it would be interesting enough because flippers, although they're cool, I didn't think they were striking enough to really make the idea pop. So for this one, I decided to go into my extra challenge that I wanted to give myself for the month and do an outfit design based on the animal instead of doing an actual siren creature. And I thought this would be a good one because we all know of the penguin tuxedos. So I definitely wanted to draw a nice tuxedo and give them the James Bond-esque style, if you will. And I found this really nice image on Pinterest of some guy posing in that fun guy pose that guys do. I don't know what this is called, but it's a fun kind of pose. And I thought that would be perfect for adding a nice little penguin tux to it. Now, to scoop back into the conversation of my Funkalicious funk, it took me from anywhere from 1 to 2 hours to finish one piece from start to finish. And that's a lot for 30 drawings. It really is a lot. And yeah, after I got through this first batch, I really just was like, my life is spiraling. Yeah, I went through quite a depressive spell. So unfortunately, I didn't finish. But I did want to take this time to say, especially because I know a lot of people are doing Inktober at this time, it is really upsetting when you're not able to finish a deadline that you create for yourself. It is really disheartening when you can't complete a month-long challenge or any kind of challenge, especially one that you give yourself. It just feels like you let yourself down. And I just want to say, it's okay to be upset, but keep pushing through and accept the failure for what it is. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it dishearten you to the point where you don't want to draw ever again or where you don't want to take on a challenge ever again. I've been one to take challenges on and drop them, but what I like to do is just take another challenge on. Just say, hey, we failed that one, but let's try again. Because to me, it's the more you try, the more you attempt it, the better you'll get and the more you'll learn about yourself. And to me, that's really the point of challenges. It's really to push yourself. And if it's too hard for you, you'll learn that along the way. But the worst thing that you can do is say never again or give up because of that. On to the next piece that I'm probably already drawing and you're probably already seeing me draw. Now, this one was super fun to draw. I really, really, really was excited to draw this one. And this was the robin. And for this piece in particular, I looked up the robin birds and they're just these chunky little circles on little sticks for legs. They are the cutest little birds ever, and because they're so chunky and because they're so round, I knew I wanted to play up body positivity and give you guys something a lot more inclusive. And for this, I knew I wanted to draw a woman on the bigger side. It's not something I draw a lot, honestly, and I don't know why, because I had a lot of fun. I found a great model on the internet with a bikini on and she looked super amazing. She looked like she was having such a good time, and I was like, okay, I definitely want to include this in this piece. And honestly, I think this one came out super cool, especially with the colors. I really wanted to play up the colors of a robin, and I didn't want to give her clothes. I wanted her to seem more bird-like, like her body is covered in feathers, and I tried to play that idea up as well. I don't know, I just knew I really wanted to do something along those lines, and that's kind of where I went. I am disappointed that I failed this challenge. I definitely think I could have done better. I definitely think I could have pushed myself harder. But at the same time, sometimes life gets in the way. And for me, really, life got in the way. Now, is that the best excuse? No, because I think sometimes we really need to work through when those motivation levels are low, really dedicating ourselves, really working on self-discipline and just powering through anyways. However, before we end this video, I did also want to show you guys a few other creations that I've done for Sirentember. Again, it's not a lot. I think I've only done about a week's worth of drawing, and I did most of them in like 2 days. So as you can imagine, that's not a lot of drawings for a whole month, but it was a week. So maybe it was like a week challenge. Kinda, I guess. So the other one that I did was for day 1, and that was the sparrow. And the sparrow is the original bird that was the siren mythology creature. And so I definitely wanted to do that one first because I thought it would be cool to play to the roots of the mythology. And for this one, I chose an American tree sparrow. Oh my goodness, if you've never seen these birds, they look so cool. They look like they have little mohawks. And I really wanted to draw that and just kind of play that one up. And since it was the first day, I definitely took some time to kind of go into the shading. Now, after the robin, I did the Gouldian Finch, and that was for day 6 of the challenge. And this bird, this was just the concept art again. This wasn't a finished piece. This was just an idea of what I wanted to do. If you saw with all the other ones that I did, I usually have a little concept art in the corner where I kind of pulled the colors from and where I pulled the idea from. That's pretty much what I did with this challenge. I had these concepts that I drew, and then I started drawing the real ones. But with this one, I wasn't sure how I wanted to do it. I thought the Gouldian Finch was such a cool bird because of all the colors. However, I wasn't sure how that was going to translate into a finished piece. This was one that I considered doing another outfit design for, but I wanted to play around with the idea of doing it like a bird first. And again, I'm not sure if it's my favorite thing in the world, but it is what it is. The next one for day 7 was the crow. And this one, honestly, I'm going to have to come back to. Definitely not going to wait a year for this one. I don't know when I'll come back to it necessarily, since I'm kind of burnt out from birds right now. But the crow concept art to me came out so cool. I was really excited for this black man in dreads. I thought he looked so official with his golden eyes and his long wings, or his big wings. And to me, he looks so cool. And crows are so cool. They're such menacing birds, but they're so funny at the same time. And I really thought this guy was going to be stunning. And I'm still sad that I didn't actually do a finished piece for this one. And then the last concept art that I have for you is the toucan. Now, I know what you're thinking. Toucans are so colorful. What are you doing with this orange and yellow mess? And honestly, I don't know. But for some reason, while I was looking at toucans, I really got inspired. I forget what kind of toucan this is, but I really got inspired by this orangey one. I thought it would look cool as a concept of a person to kind of play up the makeup, especially in a girl character. And I also like their striking black feathers. I thought that would look cool as the hair in the back of the person. Like, I thought it looked cool. Now, I gotta say this beak isn't the best beak, but again, this was a concept piece, so I was definitely going to hone in on it and make it a little bit better. But man, I knew for the toucan, that's not an outfit design. That's something you have to draw that beak. If you don't do anything with toucan, draw at least the beak. And that's why I did this one. I knew it wouldn't have been full-bodied. It was just going to be the bust of this character. And now it remains as a draft in my iPad, because I never got to the final piece. But anyways, let me stop rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, if you're doing Inktober right now, I wish you the best. I wish you Godspeed. I wish you a good time. I hope you enjoyed the challenge. And if you fail, please know that it's not the end of the world. You're not a failure as an artist. This is something that I'm saying to you, but I'm also reminding myself. But anyways, I keep rambling and I'll go on forever because I like this topic. But thank you all. Please have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great life. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.